All right, greetings everybody and welcome to another video. Today we are going to be talking about baby news for this week. Well, actually next week, starting on July 1st, will be JP's next update. And this update is looking to be kind of a surprising one. So let's start off going with some of the minor stuff and going back to whatever this is. So first off, there will be a main story update, part 2 of 9 of book 3, is where we are currently at. Also, for Guild War, we are looking at Guild War map this time around, focusing on wind and light element. Obviously, one new character who came last week, Fina, with ranged getting a bit of a boost, as well as the Black Mage staff group too. So quite a bit there. As for different things, Ice Veritas will be finally added to JP. JP players will finally be able to start working towards getting him. Of course, he will probably be almost carbon copy the same rollout plan as Water Veritas just months later. So if people are curious about that, that is exactly how that will be off. Also, before we talk about this, our new character, if I didn't make mention of it earlier, I think I did, but she is part of the Black Mage staff group, which brings me to this. So this is kind of a surprise, because the last time we saw this was, I do believe, the new version of Helena when she was first shown off, along with Old, O, and all of that. It's been a long time since we've seen a new story event, and yes, another story has been taking up a lot of the time and update schedule, and that's fine. I don't besmirch that at all, but it's just kind of like, oh yeah, these exist. Wow, these do exist. It's been a while. I mean, it would be just as surprising if a raid came next week, because it's been forever since we've seen one of those too. So yes, a new piece of equipment. I guess this is considered to be a Black Mage staff, so you could put this on Vivi if you wanted, or our new character, who we are about to talk about. And there she is. Say hello to the blue-haired girl, and I'm going to do my best to not mess this name up. Shrecken. That's right, Shrecken. And this might be a character that you're kind of surprised to see, because a lot of people have been, and myself included, beach units, Ramada, a ton of different story characters that could show up. But no, Shrecken. And Shrecken is, from my understanding, I don't think she's ever appeared in the main story. I've had to skip a bunch on stream because of maybe spoilers or whatever. But I haven't actually, I just don't have any recollection of anybody talking about this character ever. And I do believe that she is Melnia's boss? Yeah, like Melnia is the one who talked about this character, but, and this is from one of my guildmates who reminded me, but I don't have any recollection. So as far as I'm concerned, this is pretty much a brand new character, and cool. We'll see how she ends up measuring up, but also noteworthy, she is a 100 cost character, which isn't very surprising at this point. Beginning of the month characters are always 100 costers. I mean, there's probably, recently, let's go with that as a clause. But wind element. The wind is finally getting its first next generation character, next level power character, and it will be a mage based one. So curious to see where this character will fit in, given recently the upset in terms of power with Sephiroth coming and all of these strong characters coming. It's going to be very interesting to see who this mixes and matches with, or whether it will be able to pull wind. I could foresee this character outright replacing a character like Sadali, and just being the new one, and maybe Fly Glassy just once again brought back into relevance. So when it comes to talking about this character, there is a wall of text that I'm going to have to get through And I am going to be using my app to help do a quicker translation, but some of these effects may be a little off. Well, I'll try and do my best for accuracy, as always. All right, so master ability. Everything that you would expect for win: own critical hit rate plus 10, single target attack resistance 10, debuff resistance 20, and an additional effect of don't move activation rate while under the effect of reducing magic damage taken the greater the distance. So she actually has a honeycomb barrier effect by the looks of it on this character, which is quite interesting. So kind of squallish, but she has a ton of other stuff. Like single target, critical hit rate, and debuff resistance is quite a bit to stick on just a master ability, even for one of the newer characters. Now, Limit Burst, right here, destroys the barrier that reduces magic damage and removes the effect that reduces magic damage as distance between the target, and also select. Sorry, let me restart a little bit because it's a little bit mixed up. But so this ability is a single target one. You can see the range is quite high on it. It does allow you to select 2 different targets, which is pretty good. That has been proving historically quite strong with characters such as Ashimont. It's dealing extra large damage. It destroys barriers, but also removes an effect that reduces magic damage as the distance increases, which I don't know if that's incredibly important, but I guess like this is removing basically everything almost that would hinder dealing magical damage. So very much paints this character as a character that is essentially going to be dealing a fair bit of magic damage. Also, maybe also more fugitive preventative against characters that will be strong against mages, which is kind of interesting. Second ability, increases own single target attack resistance penetration rate, returns magic power dependent large damage, higher accuracy on this ability, releases re-raise on up to 2 targets, increases power as distance 2 or more goes up by 1 square up to a distance of 5. Chance of having a don't move effect or status effect activate. So don't move, higher damage the further the character is away, up to 5 spots, but she has pretty high range on that ability as well. Increases single target attack resistance penetration rate, which is very good. Not shred, but it does essentially work for herself. And their accuracy, all pretty good. And our last ability that we are looking at here is another glorious effect. So second to get that back on the phone. Gives an effect that increases physical and magical damage to allies within a round centered around self for 4 turns. Applies an effect that seals the removal of all reinforcements. So basically you cannot remove reinforcements if an attack hits. They cannot remove that, so Dispel is kind of gone, but it's not necessarily Dispel, it's just enhancements. Deals a certain amount of physical damage to yourself, creates a barrier that prevents a certain amount of physical damage, activates additional damage when attacked by a magic dependent damage, or when attacked, it looks like. Also removes haste and AP automatic recovery effects. So yeah, there again, this is just a lot of different stuff. It's called Sentinel command, which is kind of interesting for what this character is supposed to be. So like increasing physical and magical, good for multiple types of characters here. 4 turns is a long time. Sealing removal and enhancements is kind of nice, given that there is Dispel effects going around. What else? I mean, like physical damage barrier, and activates an additional attack ability, and removes haste and automatic AP. This character seems very, very stacked, and it could be just because isn't very popular yet, so there might be a bit of a, hey, we want to make a Wotv character as compelling as possible, and I'd say that they've done a good job. This character looks quite amazing on paper very early on. Of course, the rest of her kit will determine it. She also has Kotodama and Blade Soul, so an interesting mix to say the least, but we will keep an eye on her next week and give you the lowdowns and details of this character as they come out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you are excited, but let us know in the comments below. What do you think about this new character? Are you disappointed that you wanted to see a different character perhaps? Or are you totally stoked for someone brand new? We'll wait and see. Either way, Wind players, welcome back to the game. Later.